welcome to another tutorial for DriveTheLane.com, the world's greatest college basketball simulation. I am your host, Stoneman, and today we'll be discussing recruiting in weeks 4 through 7. This will be a pretty short video. Just wanted to walk you through this here. Let's again start with my schedule screen, just so there's no confusion. I've actually been winning one game a week, so not too bad. But anyway, we've discussed that this exhibition week is week 0 for recruiting. Nothing needs to be done there. The first 3 weeks we've discussed these games 1 through 9. So when I say 4 through 7, we're talking about games 10 through 12 as week 4, week 5. Week 6 is the conference tournament, and week 7 is the first week of the national tournament. There will be another video I will make for the 8th and final week of recruiting, but this is for these weeks in between. So let's go to the My Recruits screen here, and this is what it looks like. This is you see my 4 maxes at the top, and then my safety net below it. So just looking at this at the end of last week, this will show you at the reveal how many recruiting points I've put on this player in this column. How many recruiting points is the most on that player. So you can see here I've put 66 on this guy. 66 is the top. That means I'm in the lead or tied for the lead. This next guy, Brian Williams, I'm only at 20 and the top is at 66. That means somebody else maxed him and I pretty much have no chance of catching up. So that's kind of how to read these columns. Last week I explained the W3, W12, the within 3 recruiting points or within 12 recruiting points of the top. So if you look here, my 4 maxes, you can see 2 of them are zeros. So that means I have a lead or clear lead is how you'll see that referred to in the message board. And then on the right here, you'll see Aspen, I'm team 163. So I'm the only team listed here. The other 2 guys I maxed, this one is a 2-2 tie, is how you'll see that talked about on the message boards, meaning that in addition to me, team 163, there are 2 other teams also within 3. And in this case, since it's a maxed player, they're basically just maxed them also. So most likely all 3 of us are tied at 66. This top guy here, Andrew Williams, you can see he was the 16th most recruited player in the country. There are 4 other teams, so 5 total. You can see the list of them. I think in a previous video I said that this was a large program perk to see which teams are there, but I think actually that's not the case. I think everyone has access to that. So if you want to see who you're tied with, you can just click on one of those teams and it'll take you to their team page. If you want to consider the recruits' preferences, you can check out how good the team is, look at their power ranking, look at the strength of the recruiting classes that they're bringing back next year. That's relevant to the impact preference as well as what conference they're in for the local preference, of course. So that's really everything you need to know on the screen. In my case, I have 93 recruiting points available to spread out. So I'm going to go ahead and continue maxing the 2 guys I'm tied with. I'll probably put some points on the 2 guys I'm in the lead on just to make sure that I keep those leads. And then I'll go ahead and look through here, try to find some guys where my recruiting point total is close to the top. So for example, these 2 guys, I'm either in the lead or tied for the lead at 16 recruiting points. So maybe a couple of options for me to throw some points and see if I can develop some leads on a couple other guys. Of course, the goal is to avoid walk-ons. So the more leads you can develop either with your maxes or your safety net, the better off you'll be. So that's really all you need to know about recruiting in weeks 4 through 7. I guess the way to use both of these columns is you can see what people have done. So for example, if we look at Antoine Wetzel, at the end of last week, the top was at 47, and currently through the current week, it's at 64. So obviously the person at 47 has maxed this guy again and gone from 47 to 64. So that's kind of how you can use both columns to try to guess what other people are doing. Of course, you won't be able to see this change between Wednesday's games and the Friday deadline. So if people recruit early in the week, you'll be able to see those changes. If they don't, you'll just have to take your best guess. And that is recruiting in weeks 4 through 7. So good luck, and I'll make another video when we get to week 8.